Way, and today we're going to be reorganizing my bookshelves. Just some random stuff before we begin. I want to apologize for any wind noise in the background, and also for context, this shelf down here is for family stuff that I don't really want to put on the internet, so that's why that's blank. But other than that, let's sort out this mess. So first I'm going to take off all the little trinkets that aren't books. I have too many. We're just going to stop and appreciate this one for a second. And now the books come off. I've been looking for this for 3 months. Oh, my old music folder from when I actually practiced. Okay. So if you haven't gathered already, this is my journal shelf where I keep my empty journals and notebooks. I think in terms of planning where I want everything to go, that's gonna stay the same just because I'm used to it. And also just works. I don't mind it. And then as for other planning, I don't really have it. Some Indonesian dictionaries from when I actually studied Indonesian. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't really have a plan. I do like this shelf because it's Harry Potter and Cassandra Clare. They're my biggest series and I think they work really well together. Whether I'm going to keep them in the same place, I have no idea. If you guys watched my August wrap-up, then you'll know that a lot of my books I got secondhand from my book club at the library, which means a lot of them unfortunately are so random. Oh, there's more. Okay. Oh, goodness. I kind of have a rough idea about where everything should go, but nothing's set in stone yet. I'm thinking maybe like a YA series shelf for like Hunger Games, Darkest Minds. I have the Divergent series, which I haven't approached yet. I don't know if I want to do that. I also have all the, I think they're called contemporary YAs. I'll double check that. There's a couple of books that look pretty spooky, so I might have a scary shelf. I was going to do everything in color order, but I decided I wanted to save that for when I eventually move into my own house. Only because by then, well, the game plan, ideally I would have finished all the books that I got randomly from the library. I'd have an idea of which ones I want to keep and which ones I wanted to get rid of. I only want to take this chunky boy with me when I move because this one's has seen better days, let's say. So I was thinking when I move out I would then probably have less books and I could do color coding on this shelf alone, hopefully. I like this a lot as well. It's got a few randoms that you shouldn't look at, but it's just my children's classic shelf like Roald Dahl, David Williams, Narnia, The Hobbit, which I didn't want, all of my children's classics which I need to plow through. I have a random copy of The Reptile Room because I got this one from an op shop hoping to collect the whole series, but then we got the whole series at a used bookshop, so now I just have The Reptile Room if anyone wants it. That's another thing actually, I'm really proud of myself. The entire Mortal Instruments series I have collected. I didn't spend a single cent, or maybe I did. But the point is, I collected them from my library secondhand books and charity shops. I didn't buy it, and I'm very proud of that. Also, really throwing the interesting books at you today. I have two books entirely in Indonesian. I've started translating this one. I've done about a page. I think it's mysteries that haven't been solved. The first page is about a baby. I know that. And the second one I have, I don't know if you can guess what it is. It's the subtle art of not giving an F word. Why are there so many? I didn't know I had so many. Obviously gonna keep series of unfortunate events together. Did anyone else have this phase? This is an interesting story. This is every edition of quote book that my friends and I have kept since year 7. They are packed full of embarrassing, funny and silly quotes and last around 5 years, I think, at this point. I cherish these books with all of my heart. I just think it's so funny to look back on like how bad our sense of humour was in year 7 and how immaculate our sense of humour is now. This is my pride and joy. This is my fat copy of Little Women and Little Men. It's a gift that my nana gave me before she passed away. I haven't read it. Well, I've read some of it. I'm extra excited because we're doing a Little Women play this semester and I'm playing Jo. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do a video on it but I didn't know how to approach it, so I thought I'd just slip it in here maybe. I get to play an aspiring writer and I'm an aspiring writer. I'm very excited. These are all my finished journals. I'm very close to just putting them in a box somewhere and never looking at them again. On the floor we go. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that is my bookshelves, free of books. You're not missing much down here, it's just my school books, a couple of amps and clarinets that you probably don't care about. Next up is dusting. This is the nasty bit. See, in my head I dusted these recently, but I don't think that's the case. I'm not gonna touch the top of this shelf, I don't think. I am disgusted. I am revolted. I dedicate my entire life to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And
this is the thanks I get.
Okay, side note, Tom Felton does music, the guy that plays Draco in Harry Potter. I don't know if I'm really early to the trend or really late to the trend, because it was like in 2008. Oh my goodness, you need to listen to his music, it's so good. I don't know who gave Melbourne the right to be so warm. Anyway, his music is everything I miss about the older band, like Blur, Madness. I've run out of wet wipe. And then combines everything I've been looking for in new music. It is perfect. So in my head, the books were going to take up about a quarter of the space that they do, and I would have lots of lovely room to start sorting them into genres. That's not the case. God, oh my god, this is the most thrilling thing I've ever done. That's enough thrill for today, I think. Right, as you can see, I've just kind of stacked them into extremely threatening piles to take a thumbnail, which has cleared up some room, but not a lot. We could use the empty bookshelves to put them while we organize. Not just brains, wait, okay. We'll put all the YA series here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's Patrick Ness YA. Yeah. Where's the third one? I want to keep my Patrick Ness books together because I do want to build a collection because he is a fabulous writer. You need to get on that bandwagon if you haven't. I should really take these down so you can actually see what's happening. Good idea, May. Good idea. And so I think that's a bit better. I need to make like a little checklist. So YA shelf, scary bookshelf, children's classics. I want a whole shelf devoted to a series of unfortunate events. I want a whole shelf devoted to Harry Potter and Immortal Instruments. And then my plan is to just squish things wherever they fit from there. Oh, I also want to start a pile for books that I don't want on my shelves that I want to give away to a charity shop or something. I'm going to start adding stuff to my general like scary shelf. So far I've got the Sweeney Todd and a book that's frustrating because I know it's scary. It's called The Girls, but it's quite pretty on the outside and it doesn't fit with the aesthetic. I have a lot of books about World War II. I don't know how that happened. Like so now I need a history section. I don't know how that happened. I'll start my history section. No, I don't want my history section. We'll put it here there. I'm also going to start my scrap section, which begins with all the books that I got by Dan Brown. I don't know why I have them. I think because I knew Tom Hanks was in a movie called The Da Vinci Code and I thought, oh, there's a book, I'll read it and be proper. But I just have had no desire to pick these up at all. And I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future. So I'm just going to chuck them on the charity pile, and if I have any urge to read them in the future, I can pick them up again. It's okay. We can let go of books. It's fine. Alright, so I was born in Leicester before we moved over to Australia in England. So my dad is from Leicester and he is so obsessed with Leicester. He's very patriotic about it and he doesn't read books. So my mum thought a good way to get him to read a book was to get him a book on Richard III. So for those of you who don't know, the remains of Richard III were found in Leicester in a car park, which just so happened to be next to the kindergarten I went to. It's a long story. So Mum got him a book on Richard III and I've just realised, looking at the back of the cover, oh, it's a bunch of Leicester City fans holding up flags or something like that at the sport. No, it's not. It's Richard III it gets worse. It's Richard III photoshopped into a football crowd. And then I look at the front. I think that's a football shirt. My dad lent it to me to read, but I don't know if I can bring myself to do it now. It's about sport or about Richard III. We'll put it on my history shelf. History. Spooky. I think I'm gonna have to start splitting my classics into adult classics and children's classics because I have too many and I love them all too much. Spooky. Best book ever written. Thank you very much. I'm saving this to put on my special shelf. Right. This is a book I read in year 8 and I hated it because our English teacher was horrible. I could keep it and put it in our history section, but I'm not gonna do that. Right. History or spooky? Goblin. No, this is spooky. Oh, this is such a good book, The False Print. I know it's a series. I haven't been able to track down the last ones, but this was just mind-blowing. I love it so much. Very dear to my heart. It's one of the first books we read in our book club. But I don't know what category to put it in. We'll come back to it. It's okay. I think this is spooky. Alright, I'll just pop Mortal Instruments and Harry Potter down here for now. Adult classics, 10 of the Screw. I haven't really considered where the Indonesian dictionary is gonna fall into this. Oh my goodness. This chunky series, The Passage by Justin Cronin. My friend's my mum's friend gave me this. I have no idea what they're about, but they look pretty spooky, so they're gonna go on the spooky shelf. Oh, Spook's Apprentice. My grandma got me this. I never really got into it, but I don't know if I could give it to charity. Oh, there's so many. I feel like it's such a big commitment if I start reading this. Maybe my boyfriend will like it. I'll keep it. Okay, The Giver. That's a tricky one. This was such a good book, but I don't know what category to put it in. I'm stressing out here, people. Alright, this would go with spooky, but I didn't like it very much. Frankenstein. Adult classics. Great Expectations. Adult classics. Sense and Sensibility. What are you? I lent my grandpa a ton of books when he went into hospital. He's fine, but I think he got confused and this one came back. What are you?
Oh, what are you? What are you?
I'll put it in history. Look at me with a history shelf. That's exciting. I feel like sonnets can go in adult classic. Book Thief, history. Schindler's Ark, history. Haunting Violet, spooky. Unsolved Crimes, history. Alright, this is a spooky story, but I don't know if it actually happened. I might have to change my children's classic to just children's because I've got stuff like Magnus Chase, one Magnus Chase book in here. I also need to fit my Roald doll and everything as well, which will probably fit on one shelf. So, these are going to be the only two Stephen King books that I'll be keeping. The first one is It, and the second one is a mishmash of The Shining, Carrie, and Misery. I've tried some of his other books, but I haven't really been able to get into it. I can start them. And the thing is, I love his writing style so much. I don't know why I can't get into it. But when I started, I have no motivation to keep reading. I'm gonna pinpoint that as me just being 17 and not ready for Stephen King yet. I feel like it might be something I enjoy when I get older. But right now, nah. There's so many World War II books here and I don't know where they're coming from. What we talk about when we talk about Anne Frank. Okay. I'm really excited to learn about World War II though. The thing is, I've never really had like a politics brain. I've never ever been able to understand stuff like that. Like I've tried, honestly, but it never works out. My boyfriend, on the other hand, I think the only thing that runs in his brain is politics. Veronica decides to die. Okay. But because he's so into politics and stuff like that, and he knows me really well, he's been able to explain all the stuff to me in a way that actually makes sense and that I can comprehend. So now I'm just a lot more interested in politics and learning and all that stuff. Well, we all know what I thought of this one. Charity. Oh no. I think I'm gonna have to have a section of adult books that aren't spooky but also kind of are. This is getting too much to handle. Where does the single Game of Thrones book I own come into all of this? Adult books that are kind of spooky but not. That's not right though. Put it in adult classics for now. Alright, Lemony Snicket shelf. Maybe I need a shelf called Australian stories that no one asked for but we got anyway. Christ. Oh no. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I feel like I need to divide the YA section into like YA where stuff goes wrong and it's probably aliens or magic. YA where stuff goes wrong and it isn't aliens or magic. Controversial opinion. I didn't like this one. Thought the characters were too stereotypical and the ending was predictable. What did you guys think? I want to know. But charity shop for me. We all know what we think of this one. Hello, yes. I am Edgy Vampire Teen from Sydney. Oh no. Okay. I have such a dilemma because a lot of these books I really enjoyed, but then they were ruined by English at school. Alright, so I have these books that I don't know how to deal with. The first one is Things Enough Won't Show You. It's a collection of short stories. I guess I can put it in children's. I'll just put it in YA, I don't know. I say YA, but I think this is just the stories about teenagers section. I'll put this in spooky because it's creeping me out. Next up, I just have a ton of miscellaneous books. I have one non-fiction book, three non-fiction books, like 7 if you count dictionaries. Alright, so I think I want Harry Potter, Mortal Instruments here. I want to move the YA series down to here. I'll probably move the classics down to here. So I've made this really complicated for myself. This isn't going to be enough to fill a whole shelf, so I could probably mash these two together. But who in their right mind would put history next to story about teenagers? Maybe this can be my Lemony Snicket shelf. I'll probably try that one first because then I'll stress less. So I'll make a start on the history shelf. Once this has room to balance, this is a nice little history section. I can split it up with some photo albums. Ooh, okay, that fits nicely. That doesn't fit nicely. Can I fit my journals in this little corner? Because that's kind of history, you could argue. I just realised I'm balancing my camera on half of my journals. I'll fix it. Okay, I fixed it. Oh no! And then my aesthetic ones can go in here. I need to figure out who's gonna chill with Lemony Snicket. Can you see that? This dog sits well with me. Children's? I think. That's where they were last time, but I still like it. Okay, I think this is how I had it. Oh no, that's not how I had it. Oh god, there's more Roald doll. Oh, there's another Roald doll. Oh my goodness. Where do they keep coming from? I can't tell if that annoys me or not. Yeah, it does. It's not great, but it's better. Where do I put my Mr. Bean DVDs? That's a different story. I feel like we just have a nonsense pile forming in the center of my bed, but that's okay. We can deal with it. Oh, alright, I have a dilemma. So this book comes in between these two, I'm pretty sure, but it's obviously a different size. Can I, like, just do that and get away with it? Is that against the law? I'm running out of room. Christ, the stakes are high here, people. I'm chuffed with that. Okay, this bookshelf's done, apart from, I think this is going to be the miscellaneous shelf down here. But we're done with that so far. But I don't want to, like, look at my crap YA before I go to bed at night. We can put the crap YA on the shelf with the miscellaneous. Alright, my journals are stressing me out, so I'm gonna chuck them up there. Ooh. Oh, this is my old video planning book. Alright, my friend's drawing came down, so I'm gonna have to get some tape to stick that back up. So beautiful. I have this random train bookmark. Remember, my dog sat in there. I don't like how he watches me sleep at night, but I think he's happy. Mr. Bean can act as a divider between nonsense books and crappy YA. Ooh. I'm halfway through City of Glass, but I think I need to pop it in for the purpose of spacing. I've done the adult classics shelf. There's still a bit of room, but that's okay because I'm planning on expanding that collection. I think this is going to be the trickiest shelf because I have a lot of series here that I want to keep together on the shelf, but I don't know how I'm going to fit that. The series we have are Hunger Games, Divergent, Palace of Fire series. This one, I don't know, my friend was reading it and it came up in the free library book, so I took 2 of those. Skeleton Creek, also from the library that I haven't even looked at yet, so I'm keeping them just in case I do like them. Maze Runner, Fallen, I don't know what the actual series is called, but Patrick Ness's A Knife of Never Letting Go, as well as his Monster Calls, The Six of Crows, the 2 of those, yep, and the Darkest Minds trilogy. And I have to fit all of those onto here. I guess I can just chuck the ones that are the same length on top of each other, because that'll look quite nice. They are not the same length. The Maze Runner was amazing. But no, I want to reread it. It was quite good. Stop it. Perfect. I reckon I could do this for a living. I reckon that's pretty good. Alrighty, now I just need to move all of my little trinkets back on. Guitar picks. Where should I put the guitar picks? It's a trinket box of trinkets. That's meta trinket. I think that's the last thing. So now I think it's time for a bit of a close-up book tour. Hello, welcome to my book tour. I did one of these in like 2018. It was for a YouTube channel that I have now burnt to the ground. My name is May and this is a bookshelf tour thing, I guess. For obvious reasons. We have our journal shelf. Ooh. I have mentioned that I'm not really going to be doing that much journaling content anymore, but if you guys want any unused journal videos, let me know. This is mostly just school stuff, some finished notebooks, some unfinished. I don't know, I don't mind. This is just a dumping ground for all the chaos. This is my Pride and Joy shelf. So first up we have Harry Potter. You might notice that my series is half one edition and half the other. I know this bothers some people, but I don't really mind it. Basically, my grandma was getting me this series and I think she was getting them from the op shop. So she managed to get the first 3 in the same edition and then the last 4 in a different edition, and I don't mind at all. I think it's really charming and I don't think anyone else in the world has this version of the Harry Potter series, so I really like that. We have a little sorting hat. Dragon, okay. I bring it into light. It has little flakes in it. I don't think it's real, but it's just so pretty. I remember I saw it at a market when I was like 8 and I wanted it so bad. And obviously that goes with my Harry Potter stuff. I've got a little golden snitch, a matching owl that I have with my grandma, and this little key thing. I don't really know where it came from, but it seems right to put it here. Dividing my 2 series, I have a Hufflepuff drink bottle that I got for my birthday a couple of years ago. It got a bit broke at the top, but it's on display now, and a Hufflepuff magnet as well. Next is my Cassandra Clare collection. You can see they've still got, that's the same for a lot of my books, they still have the little library labels on them, but I don't mind. And then I have a little fairy statue. This was in the Harry Potter section, but I felt, especially reading the Little Instruments, that it was more suited towards Cassandra Clare than it was to Harry Potter. Alright, next up we have the YA shelf. There's not much to it because I've kind of run out of trinkets. Out of these, I have read the first Hunger Games book, Darkest Minds, the first 3 Maze Runner books. I still need to read this one. I read the first chapter of Six of Crows. I've read the first chapter of Initiate. I've read The Knife of Never Letting Go and A Monster Calls. But apart from that, I haven't read anything. So if you guys want me to read anything in particular and do a review or something, please let me know. Alright. Okay, this is a bit sad, but it's alright. This is our adult classic section. I tried to put the little money box there to help, but I feel like it just made it look a bit sad. There's not really a particular order to these books. I might have a bit of a play around with it, but we'll see. Out of these, I have read Romeo and Juliet, some of the sonnets for school, but again, that was horrible. Great Gatsby, I've read it several times, absolutely beautiful. Medea was okay. Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is absolutely spectacular. I definitely recommend it. Inheritance we did for school and it was painstaking, but it was a good book. The Turn of the Screw I thoroughly enjoyed. Haven't read The Catcher in the Rye, but I'm planning to shortly. Longest Memory, writing an essay on it right now. I got Great Expectations because of Infernal Devices, no other reason. I haven't touched it yet though. If you want to watch me read the hell that is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I have a reading vlog for it when I did the Books for the Brave readathon. I say it was hell, but it is one of my favourite books of all time. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a poetry book that I got from the op shop because it was old. Already spoken about Little Women. This is the complete collection of Sherlock Holmes. It's okay. It's a bit boring. I probably read only one story in it, but I want to get through them. On our other bookshelf, we have our children's section, which is lovely and colourful. I like it. I think it matches the decorations that I put on the sides. As you can see, lots of Roald Dahl, lots of the little children's classics down here. I have a small collection of David Williams, kind of a random assortment of children's books over there. And I thought the trinkets that would best suit this shelf was obviously Finn from Adventure Time and a little money box. Next up is our spooky section. I don't think it looks that scary. I mean, it's scarily organized, but other than that, I don't think there's much to it. Out of these, I have read The Turning, Nature of the Beast. I've seen Sweeney Todd 1,000 times. It's my favourite musical. We went to see it live in Melbourne and it was so amazing. I've read Genuine Fraud. It was a complete rip-off of Talented Mr. Ripley, which really let it down for me. I have read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That's another book I did in the reading vlog. And then I have read about half of It by Stephen King and I couldn't get through it. I think I stopped at the point where he spent about 100 pages talking about the history of dairy. Alright, next is our history kind of shelf. This bear, I know it's from the cartoon We Bare Bears, but I've never seen it. It was a gift from a friend I made when I was on a school trip to Indonesia. I haven't read any of these history books. I've read a couple of mysteries in here, but I'm excited to get started. I think it's a genre that I've never even considered for myself. But like I said, now I've been explained things in an easier way. I'm more eager to learn about them. And then here are all of my finished journals. This is a clock of Indonesian time because I have a different word for different times of the day. And it's painstaking to learn, so I add you up a little diagram of that. Next up is our Lemony Snicket shelf. Obviously, series of Unfortunate Events. Two dogs. I have a singular book from Lemony Snicket that isn't directly part of the series of Unfortunate Events, like universe, or maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so I pop that over there. We have a Silence from Doctor Who. And finally, the Nonsense shelf. So I've kind of just chucked all these books next to each other because I don't really know what else to do with them. And then this worked quite well. I have my YA where things are caused from either aliens or magic, and then my YA where things are kind of not caused by aliens or magic. These are kind of my miscellaneous pocket-sized notebook, and these are, as you saw, the quote book. And they are my bookshelves. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, everything you need, petitions, down in the description down below. I'm making the commitment to sign a new petition every time I upload a video. So if you guys want to join me in that endeavor as well, that would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. This video is too long.